right, welcome back, everybody, to the Listen Up podcast.
Word up.
Word up, home of Room for Up. We're excited to be back for episode 2. Thank you for coming back. Uh, in our last episode, we left you with a challenge. Trapper, what was that challenge?
Challenge was to step up.
That's exactly
Figure
right.
out how to get there to step up, right?
That's right.
Write down what your action plan was.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, you take massive action and you get to an end result.
that's exactly right. Let me ask you a question. Do you think of anybody that was out there listening that took that challenge and wrote down what area of life do you think would it where would it be highly likely that they might view something as a challenge?
Hmm. Probably somewhere in their physical nature.
Yeah, yeah. You ever been there before? I know I have.
I was there yesterday.
So, guys, today's upism, our word up today is it's shape up. It's shape up. I know that Trapper and I both share the same belief that oftentimes, well, we believe that motion breeds emotion. And so when we make a change, even a small change in our physical life, when we shape up, the impact that it can have physically is profound, but the impact that it can have in other areas of our life is pretty impactful too.
I would say mentally is probably one of the biggest ones.
Yeah, it's all tied together, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So now you're in really good shape, my man. Have you been in great shape your entire life?
You know, I was an athlete growing up. I'm pretty good shape, and then played college baseball. Come home, and life starts to happen, right? So, which means that you eat too much, you relax too much, you work too much, and you don't have time. Or let me step back. It's not that you don't have time to do it; you don't make time to do it, and we become lethargic. And as we get out of our regular routines of lifting or walking or running or eating healthy, everything just kind of goes to hell in a handbasket pretty dang quick.
Yeah, it does. Isn't it shocking how quickly you can actually get out of shape?
Yeah, and how long it takes to get back in shape, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely a challenge.
So let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
So you shared a little bit of your story, high school athlete, college athlete,
Yep.
as you made that transition into the working world.
Yeah.
Sounds like maybe you got out of shape a little bit.
Oh, I was definitely out of shape. I mean, definitely, yeah. That took a challenge on me. Like my knees started hurting, my back started hurting.
Yeah.
I was tired all the time. I didn't want to go do anything.
Yeah.
Y- you you become a recluse, right? And
Yeah.
you start to draw away. And I believe when you start to draw away from your friends and your family, like that has a huge toll on your physical and your mental health.
So obviously you've been there. I would imagine if you guys are out there listening and can empathize, sympathize with that story, I know I can personally. So I guess my question would be, what did you do to get out of it?
I stepped up. That was the first one, right?
Yeah.
And then I came up with a plan. I wrote down the actions that I wanted to take. And then we're not talking about writing down 20 things that you need to do. It was
Yeah.
two to three things. Because I do know that the mind plays some crazy things on you, right?
Yeah.
If you write down 20 things that you need to do,
You're not gonna get any of them.
right? Why? Because you're drinking from a fire hose, and it's so complicated. You're trying to get everything, and you don't have enough energy to accomplish 20 things and do it the right way. So, find a couple of things that are important to you that you know that you can accomplish. And what happens is you start to gain momentum. When you check the first one off, the next one's pretty easy to get to, and then the next one's a little easier, and then the next one, and so forth.
You're talking about momentum.
Momentum, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So obviously you stepped up, you created a plan, and you executed that plan. Did you execute it perfectly?
Absolutely not. No, I mean, you veer from it, right?
Yeah.
We talked about it on the last episode. It's the GPS. Where are we going? But at the end of it, like we're always going to veer off track a little bit, but it's going to take us back if we focus on that one destination.
So I identify with your story a lot because, and I know I've shared this with you, but I haven't shared it with the listeners. So I went from being a single man to a married father of two overnight. And
Welcome to the club.
very true. So I had no clue what I was doing. No clue. Kids, if you're listening, I had no clue what I was doing. You probably know that. But I remember asking myself, like, okay, what did my dad do? What did my dad do? And one of the areas where that manifested itself was at the dinner table. Now, just to give you a little, just to give you a little reminder, when my oldest two were little, there's only two things in the world that they would eat. They would eat dinosaur chicken nuggets and mac and cheese.
Dino bites.
That's it. That's it. That's all they would eat.
Wow.
So, in order to be a good dad, a responsible guy running the finances of the home, I think I uttered the phrase, "We're not going to waste food." Blah 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 blah. Well, guess what? The kids ate what they were going to eat, and so in order for me to feel like I was doing a good job, what I did wasn't going to waste that food. Over a period of a year or two, I ate a lot of dinosaur chicken nuggets and mac and cheese, in addition to the healthy meal that I was trying to eat.
Right.
Brother, at one point I was 265 pounds. Now, my fighting weight's about 205.
Didn't know you were a fighter, sir.
Well, listen, I was fighting the over the obesity epidemic. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
And so, man, I looked up one day and I was like, how the heck did I get here? And I would love to tell you, that I stepped up immediately.
Yeah.
I didn't, man. Like,
what kind of toll did that take on you?
Whew, well, physical toll, I can tell you this. I would wake up in the morning. I would drink a ton of coffee or caffeine, Diet Dr. Pepper. There was one point where I was drinking about 6 a day.
Wow.
And my mornings were, from an energy standpoint, okay. The afternoons were hell, quite honestly. And I would get home and there was a lot of laying around and watching TV. That was the physical toll. The mental toll, zero confidence.
Yeah.
None whatsoever. Just to give the listeners a little background, I was a high school athlete. Didn't make it to the collegiate level, but wanted to, tried to, just didn't work out. But I still had that athlete mentality. When I thought of myself, I still thought of myself as an athlete.
Yeah.
But the image that was looking back in the mirror was the furthest thing from that. And when I came to the realization that in reality, I was living off the victories of the past, and that the man the real man was nowhere near forget what I used to be, what I wanted to be, what I envisioned for myself. But yeah, it was mentally, emotionally, I would probably say that at that point in my life, I was probably more depressed than I had ever been. It affected my relationship. It affected my profession. It affected my ability. I was in sales at the time. I was always thinking, what does that person think? Are they thinking this? Are they thinking that? Like, I was constantly in my head, and my head wasn't a good place to be.
And I can tell you one thing. Anybody that's in sales, like, confidence has got to be through the roof.
Confidence is key.
I can promise you, the person or the company or whoever it is that you're trying to offer a solution to in sales, they see everything. They see right through you.
That's right.
And your ability to close that deal goes way down.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I would love to tell you, that on my own, I stepped up. But we talked about it in the last episode, the importance of our circle.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite quotes of all time is you're the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with.
That's right.
And I have found that to certainly be true, but it wasn't me all by myself that decided to step up. It was that I was so blessed with a great circle, and there were actually people within that circle that had come to the same realization about themselves. I watched them step up. I watched the impact that it had on them, and it encouraged me. It inspired me. My wife, she led the charge. I mean, she went from really not doing anything. She was in the same boat that I was. And then all of a sudden she decides, I'm going to start running marathons. And I watched her do that for weeks upon weeks. And then she would come in and I would say, hey, how far did you run? And at first it was, I ran, it wasn't even about the mileage. It was, I ran for this many minutes and walked for this many minutes.
Right.
And within weeks, like, you can clearly see the progression, and it inspired me, man. Like, it inspired me to step up,
Right.
and that led to me running triathlon, ultimately CrossFit. Um, the the journey never
So,
ends.
so let's talk about. We've talked about the circle, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
the most 5 influential people that are around you.
sure.
And you and I both CrossFit.
Mhm.
And it was a passion of ours for a long time. Unfortunately, the old left shoulder said, "No more, Trapper." But we're working through that. We're
Yeah,
working through that right now.
yeah,
So I know that CrossFit is known for its community.
yeah,
Tell me how um, that fueled you, because I know that fueled me.
yeah. So, it's really what kept me going back.
Yeah,
I thought I was going there I thought I was going there to get physically fit, or
yeah,
to take my fitness to another level,
right.
and it did. But what it really did was it reintroduced me to a very important component in our life and in our fulfillment. We talk about those 7 areas.
Yeah,
And that was that community was all about improving um, my social health,
yeah,
my social life, and here's the coolest thing about it: like, the impact that those years had didn't just affect me; it impacted my relationship with my wife. And the coolest part is that my children saw that.
yeah.
Your children, they'll remember sometimes what you say, maybe what you do, but they, but when they see you walking the walk as opposed to just talking the talk,
100%.
like, all of my kids grew up around CrossFit, and to watch the impact that it had on them. So, now we're talking about social impact, relational impact, yes, physical impact, mental impact, and it all came with the decision to shape up.
Yep.
And so, I guess my encouragement to anybody out there listening today, and I'd love to hear your take on it as well, but, like, don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 5.
Right.
And so, like, I'll tell you exactly how I started. She started running, and I decided I wanted to make a change. And you know what I did, brother? It started off with a walk. I can't tell you the power that you find in a walk. It's physically amazing.
Yeah.
It's mentally clarifying. It's great for the soul.
Sure.
Some of the best ideas I have. I feel closer to God when I walk. It's important to my spiritual life. So, like, if there's somebody out there right now and they're like, "Well, hey, I'd like to shape up," but I have no clue what to do. To me, the first thing I would tell somebody to do is take a walk.
That's right.
10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
You
Don't
know,
don't
when
overdo
the
it.
best time to listen to this podcast is on a walk.
Well, now I know I know that because you're a big podcast listener.
Yeah.
I know you work with people. You coach people. Heck, you coach me.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of the information that you share with me, you share from podcasts that you listen to at what time in the morning?
4:30. I got a buddy that sends me a text every morning at 4:30. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm usually up.
right.
But I get some of the best motivational
Yeah,
podcasts, and they don't have to be. You don't have to listen to a 25 or 30 minute or 2 hour. They're out there. Those long ones are out there, and there's a time to listen to those. But 5-10 minutes just to get your mindset ready for the beginning of the day,
yeah,
and put you in a position to win
yeah,
every morning. Like for me, Ed Milet,
yeah.
Eric Thomas,
Amazing.
Andy Frisella,
Yeah.
right? Uh, Les Brown.
Mhm.
I love Les Brown. Like just listen to those guys talk, and it will refocus me back into where I need to be.
Yeah. So you're not just so your decision to shape up. And I know you do a million things, but
Yeah.
your day starts with a walk. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, you're shaping up physically, but then you're shaping up mentally.
Yeah.
You're shaping up emotionally. Like, that's a pretty powerful walk.
Well, James, what I found in my entrepreneurial journey, right, was that there are other people that depend on not to sound arrogant and all that, but there are other people and their families depend on me in their livelihood. And so I have to be the best that I can be every single morning when I walk through the door at work.
That's right. So before you walk through the door, you walk through the streets.
That's right.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So I guess my encouragement to anybody that's out there listening and, shaping up
Mhm.
is their top priority. It's the challenge that they wrote down.
Yeah.
After episode 1. Take a walk. Take a walk. If you're already walking, walk a little faster. It's not about going from a walk to a marathon. It's about getting 1% better every day.
That's
Making that walk. If that walk takes you 20 minutes, walk for 25. Add just a little bit, and the improvements that you see, they'll be so much more than physical.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Remember, hold yourself accountable because you're going to be your biggest critic.
Right.
If you're able to hold yourself accountable,
Mm.
and you will move mountains, I promise you.
All right. So our challenge to everybody listening, number one, if you, whether you wrote down shape up or not, like that's the word of the day. That's the thing that we want to have you think about. Get up tomorrow at any point, whether you get up in the morning or you do it at lunch while you're at work, or you wait until the evening before the sun goes down, or even after the sun goes down, just take a walk.
That's
If
right.
you're already walking, just walk a little bit longer. Start, what is it? I believe it's John Maxwell that says this. You don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great.
Yep.
So, guys, being great, I don't know what that looks like for you, but it may look something like a walk. Trapper, any parting words for our friends out there?
No, I think James, JT, this was a great conversation.
Yeah.
We're just two guys that go through the same journey that everybody else in the world goes through. Maybe ours are maybe not near as hard, or maybe they're a little harder. I don't know what that looks like.
Yeah.
But if we can add value to someone or someone's life,
Yeah.
or their family or their career with just having a conversation, then we've done our job.
Yeah. So guys, listen, if you want to hang out with us for 10, 15 minutes every now and then, we'd love you to come along on this journey with us. Do us a favor. Like the page, subscribe, even turn your notifications on so that when we drop a new podcast, you get immediate notification. That's going to let us know that you're interested and that you're wanting to go along on this journey with us. And that means we're going to keep doing what we're going to keep providing content. Real, vulnerable, authentic content, talking about our journey, our wins, and our learns.
That's right.
So, guys, listen, if you want to level up, tune in to Listen Up. We're excited. Thank you for being here. Stay tuned for episode 3.
Hey, and don't forget, go to our YouTube page, subscribe, and these notifications will come directly to you.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Guys, don't forget to do that. We need your help with that.
That's
and we're going to have a lot of fun. We can't wait to see you for episode 3.
See ya.